We just heard the governor of Saudi Arabian General Investment Authority tell my colleague Willem Marks about possible investment. His quote was, "I think we will need to look at history." Is he right?
Well, he's absolutely right, because history tells us that Saudi Arabia is able to do well and recover from the slums of global economic turmoil. And history tells us also that Saudi requires more recognition in its ability to do quite well and manage the country, both economically and politically.
Sir, what is the opening of the market going to mean not only for foreign investors, but for Saudis in general? Are we going to see job growth that is exponential because of this?
Well, we have seen already job growth over the early years, especially since 2009. We have seen more than 1 million Saudis actively engaged in the private sector, which means that there is a greater proportion of a rising middle class that is coming into the fold in Saudi Arabia. There is a greater purchasing power today. Saudi Arabia has per capita income of $24,000, which is much more than many other emerging markets. Its stock market is going to see an inflow over the next 2 years of more than $20 billion. We're not going to see it today. We're not going to see it tomorrow. We're going to see it coming in over the next 2 years, and especially when Saudi Arabia joins, hopefully by 2017, the MSCI index. That is going to be a big step, and that means that a lot of institutions, pension funds, are going to come into Saudi because they will have a 3 to 4% weight into the MSCI index. So it's very good news for those who are beginning to look into Saudi Arabia.
Mr. Sfakianakis, does this mean that we will potentially see a broader liberalization in terms of Saudi Arabia's overall economy?
Absolutely, but let me remind everybody that the opening up of the market today is not really because, oil prices have been going down. This has been going on for the last 10 years. This is the last measure of a series of measures that have been taking place in Saudi Arabia. In 2005, Saudi Arabia became a member of the WTO. Today, Saudi Arabia is a very open country to doing business. It's highly competitive because it lives in a competitive environment. And so I do believe that this opening up is part and parcel of King Salman and the Economic Council that has been formed under the umbrella of Prince Mohammed bin Salman. So I think the country needs to, and it will continue to be a very competitive environment to doing business.
Mr. Sfakianakis, I have less than a minute left. I have to ask, as it became apparent that the market there was going to open, a lot of the local investors, they bid up some of the stock prices. Do the fund managers there believe those prices are now overvalued?
I think always there is a bit of that, but over time it's going to be repricing that takes place because Saudi Arabia becomes a new stock market that becomes part of the informed view that we have. So yes, valuations have become a bit pricier. They will correct, and then we're going to see a repricing taking place. And always there is a premium for a country that opens up.
John Sfakianakis, Regional Director of Ashmore Group, former Chief Economic Advisor to the Saudi Ministry of Finance, joining us on the phone. Sir, thank you so much for your time today.